Today, we will hear from an angry African man ignorantly talking very disrespectful about foundational Black Americans. Also, foundational Black Americans discussing how delineation is working and very much needed, and how important it is to continue to stay on code. Check it out.
Where is the money? Where is the money? If you're the wealthiest group of Black people on the planet, where is the money? Why you ain't built up Tulsa back? Where is the money? You're the wealthiest group of Black people on the planet and you're still on food stamps. Where is the money? The wealthiest group of Black people on the planet, my black ass, where is the money? Where is the money? You're out here begging for reparations from white people. Where is the money? Your kids are still going through the school to prison pipeline. Where is the money? Black women cannot make it out of the hospitals when they give birth because they keep getting unalived. Where is the money? You're the wealthiest Black. You must be thinking about imaginary money. You ain't got shit. You ain't got shit. Where's the money? We saw a lot of you crying about food stamps a few weeks ago. Where is the money? Where is the money? You ain't built nothing. 500 years, you've not built nothing. Do you know how much of a disgrace it is for Africans to come here knowing you've been here for 500 years and you still ain't built shit? When the Mexicans come over, their people build something for them, they have a system. Chinese come over, they have a system. Irish come over, they have a system. We come over, we have jail systems. You just send us to jail because we look like you. All you've reserved for your people in America is the jail system. That is all. That is the only power you hold. The right to remain silent. That's the only thing you have. Miranda rights. You are the richest population of Black people. Where is the money? Where is the money? How come you don't finance your own people into office? You're crying about Somalis. How about you put that money behind a candidate that has your views in mind? Why don't you do that? Because you ain't got shit. You ain't got shit. You keep crying about what the white people did to you. How about you build something with the money? Where's the money? $1.7 trillion? Poof. Where is it? Where is the money? You all are broke. Black Americans are broke. You are broke. Go look at the list of billionaires you have and tell me how many African last names you see there. That's what you don't get. You're broke. Look at what the richest Black man on the planet, a Nigerian, is doing. Is out there building refineries, creating jobs for his people, providing jobs security for his people, opening schools, businesses. You're out here pooking and ray-raying. Where is the money? You guys are upset. You're broke. The whole world sees you're broke. See, when we were in Africa, right, we may have thought you had something on us. Then we came over here and realized you ain't nothing but Section 8 crybabies. Where is the money? Where is the money? A bunch of coons talking about money you've never had. Money you've never had. Spending power you can never use to benefit your community. Where is the money? Where is the money when the government had to save your women from the men? Created a whole gap. Made them kick you out the house. Where is the money? Where is the money when kids were starving in America a few weeks ago when SNAP benefits got taken away? Where is the money? Why are you out here begging the government for shit you can build for yourselves? Where is the money? Where is the money? A bunch of lazy, broke people talking about you got money and shit.
Black Americans are waking up to who we really are inside of this country, and I absolutely love it. But one thing with our awakening is that we've been ruffling a lot of feathers in the so-called diaspora. And it's exposing how many of these different groups really feel about Black Americans. It's crazy you can be from Nigeria, live inside of the United States, but be proud Nigerian. You can be from Ghana or other parts of Africa and be proud of your country. You can be from Haiti or a Jamaican and still be proud of those things, even though you live here. But once we flex on how we're proud to be an American, it's all of a sudden an issue. Now that we've been uncovering all of these different benefits that were specifically made for Black Americans that many of your groups have been eating off of for years in the name of all of us being Black, now it's an issue. Now you guys started wanting to be Black once Trump started bringing up that 14th Amendment. Now everybody Black once ICE is out there in them streets. I love that we're separating ourselves. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but every time a crime happens and that skin is dark, they have been naming countries now. Well, nationalities and ethnicities. Previous to that, or a year ago, even 2 years ago, they would just say that person is black. And those crime numbers are now attributed to just being black, but now they're separating it. And we're starting to see the levels of crime or the statistics on crime drop amongst black Americans.
We see you.
If I hear one more immigrant, one more tether, one more stupid Pan-African tell me that it's a conspiracy that we are delineating and we're falling for it. So, let me ask you, where was the conspiracy theories when we were being quiet? When you were coming over here talking about we called you booty scratcher when you were in high school or elementary, because we all children now, right? And us calling you names, nah, equates to you growing up and trying to undermine the people who look like you, who fought for you to be able to come here and be just a little bit free, because you're way more free than in your own land, no matter how much y'all complain. And you know it, or you won't still be running here. So where was the conspiracy theory then? You really think that FBA don't know that all of a sudden that they pushing out all of this information, allowing so much information to come out so we can see it? You think we don't know? We just on you now because we realize what? That we alone are going to have to fight this. That y'all are too weak. Too weak in mind and too weak in spirit. You see, here's the thing with us. We know that they trying to push a divide. But we also know that we were never together. And we could never be together with you and your tribalism mindset. We know that. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're allowing, you see when you want the truth to come out, you stand back and you let friends fight it out. They're going to tell all the secrets. So that's what we're doing. We're sitting back and we're gathering information. Because that's what we do. We learned that we need to gather information documents while y'all fighting and letting it out. And then we're going to hold on to it and we're going to use it. And we're going to expose it. And we're going to build it. We're going to build on it. And we're going to keep this royal house. See, that's why you were jealous before. To try to sell out the royal bloodline from long, long before your ancestors and you that was here before. But you see how it backfired on you? To now you knocking down the door to come in to where you sent us at. Because without us, what? The land is still in poverty. You're still undereducated in so many ways. You think because you come over here and you get the European education and their doctrines and their bachelors, you're just as stupid as they are. And you see, FBA, we need to get up. All of y'all on them drugs, hanging out on them corners, you need to get up. Because you see it now, right? So we need to get in and do what we're supposed to do and need to do. So whenever we come back or our children are here, that it's a better thing for us still and keep growing and stay on code. Conspiracy theory. Where was the conspiracy theory when you felt like you were sitting at the seat with them? When you felt like you were at the table with them, huh? Where was all the conspiracy talking and the division talking then, Caribbean? An African? Use this fire to purify your mind, your mindset. Stop being stupid. That's why you don't like FBA. Because we're going to talk to you like this. And y'all don't like real. You like to be fake. Okay. No. It's okay. No, man, brethren. No, man. We are one people. We are one. But meanwhile, behind we blood clot back. You're sabotaging. Jealousy. That's what has always took us down. That is the conspiracy that YT used. Jealousy. So don't worry about the conspiracy that we riding on. We know the wavelength we riding on. Now you use your conspiracy the right way. Because we're going to use ours. Because we see you niggas. We see you.
Anybody that's ever expressed disdain for foundational Black Americans, what I notice is that their dislike of us or their criticisms of us is always extremely infantile. It's always very juvenile. It's like a childlike reasoning for not liking another person. It never has any real substance. It's always something like, oh, well, when I was in the 3rd grade, somebody called me an African booty scratcher. It's like, dude, you're 47. Who didn't get made fun of when they were in the 3rd grade? Who didn't get roasted? Who didn't get joked on? That's what kids do. They're mean. They're not nice. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown-ass woman, and you still harping on to something that happened back when you was a child. And as far as I have heard or seen, a lot of these people came over here with terrible stereotypes of Black Americans. So it ain't like you came over here with these innocent thought processes of us. It ain't like you came over here thinking highly of us. You came over here thinking that you was better than us. You came over here telling us that we was lazy, that we didn't have no culture, that we didn't have no language, that we need to want to be you, that we should not have any pride about ourselves. Like we need to just try to be Africans. That's the whole sentiment that y'all come at us with. And it's just extremely juvenile. It's never anything like, oh, well, this FBA person, Black American person, stopped me from getting a job, or they stopped me from getting my education, or they stopped me from getting a scholarship, or they stopped me. They're stopping me from living a life. They're terrorizing me. I can't live normally. Nobody's doing anything to you. I'm sure it's hard to be an immigrant. I'm sure it's hard to come to a new country. I'm sure it's hard to try to fit in where you really don't. But ain't nobody stopping you from doing anything.
Okay, you guys are like, why are these people so upset while we're delineating? And I think it's really because we really don't understand how much information, resources, and money we're giving away to other communities. Because I think that's the only way that we can't understand why they're freaking out about our delineation. Let's start with the small hats. Do you know how many billions of dollars we make? Ethnic Black Americans spend almost $2 trillion a year. $2 trillion a year. And we see very little of that. We are funding people in the amounts, different cultures and communities, the amount of almost $2 trillion. 2 motherfucking trillion. And then y'all are like, well, why are they so upset we're delineating? $2 trillion. We're almost at $2 trillion of spending, and that's just spending. Of course, people are freaking out because everybody eats off of us. We are supporting different groups in this country with $2 trillion. That is more than most countries' economy. With $2 trillion, we could go and start a whole nother country in another land or in America if we fought and we won, and have a thriving economy. So let's get into it. The small hats make billions off of us through music, through sports, through entertainment. You know how many sports agents are small hats that we give all our money to? Do you know how many small hats that use our music murder music. And if you don't believe me, go listen to 90s music and listen to our music now. That take our music and capitalize off of that. Let's talk about sports. I think I talked about sports. I said sports, music, film, TV, all these things. All these things. They make so much money off of us, okay? Let's move on to the Arabs and the Asians who put their businesses in our communities, from the bodegas to the gas stations. Some East Indians are included in that. Some East Indians. They put so much money. I mean, we give them so much money from these corner stores. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The Asians from, of course, beauty supply stores and, like our nail salons or what have you. And yeah, I go to the Asian beauty supply stores. And don't say, oh, black women, because it's Asian men that run Asian beauty supply stores. So if Asian men run beauty supply stores, then black men need to invest and start up beauty supply stores for black women. And I guarantee you black women would go. If you guys start making black beauty salons and stuff like that, and they will run efficiently, black women are coming. Okay. After that, let's think. So the Arabs, the Asians I spoke about or whatever. Oh, the Hispanics. The Hispanics have definitely taken over everybody's jobs or what have you, which we didn't mind at first and we actually were the ones who told them all the information. We told them all the information. We told them how to get the job. We told them what to do. We told them where to go. We even hooked them up with some of our people to use their licenses and their contractors, certificates and stuff. Like, we helped all of them get on just for them to turn around and then shut us out. Hispanics come into our neighborhoods. We gave them moved over and shared our neighborhoods with them. Our housing neighborhoods. And all that type of stuff. We told them how to get more information, and they pump us from information all day, every day, and y'all be falling for it because they be buttering us up. Like, hey, Poppy, yeah, I saw you. I saw you the other day. What were you doing? And here you go. Yeah, I was, because they know exactly what you were doing. They just trying to get the information. Oh, I was working on a little job. Oh, they must pay you real good. I know they paying you real good. And here we go. Yeah, they pay me about such and such an hour. And just telling all the business. And then you wonder how all of a sudden Hector, it shows up out there. You don't know that Hector was talking to the dude you were talking to, and that's his brother or his cousin. And now you have them competing for the same job. And it would not be a problem. None of this would be an issue if it was reciprocated. But the money and the opportunities and the resources and the housing get stripped away. We get erased. If you think you don't have shit, if you think you ain't shit, then you don't know how much you're giving away because you don't value anything you have. Once they make you think that you're nothing and that there's everything you do is bad, everything you have is not good enough or it's not shit, if they try to convince you don't have no kind of money, you're not good enough for that. You're not smart enough for that. You're not talented. The only way you're talented or you're recognized is if you give it to us. If you spend your money with us, if you give it to us, then now it's valuable. And I remember there was a time where ethnic Black Americans wanted to show somebody that they, who was trying to be racist. Like, I'll show them by spending a whole bunch of money in their shops with your white tea company to show, like, I can do this. And I get it, but we're evolving. We're evolving now. You got Arabs and Asians taking trillions out of your community. The ethnic Black American spends almost $2 trillion per year. $2 trillion per year. That's how much money is going out of our community because we don't keep much of that in our community. They tell you you're poor and they tell you don't have any money. And then because you are funding all these frigging groups. You're funding Arabs and Asians and Hispanics and the small hats, not to mention the YT. You're funding all these groups, the Africans, the Caribbeans. You are funding all of these groups. No wonder you don't have ish. You don't have ish because we're funding everybody else. We're funding everybody else's success story. And then they turn around and tell you need to work harder. And they turn around and tell you that you don't have it because you're not missing out the opportunities. No, we're not separating. We're not delineating. And we're giving our money and our resources and all of our brain power to other groups. trying to be nice and kumbaya. And all these people do is you give them a ladder, you show them how to walk up the ladder as ethnic Black Americans. You give your shoulder to help them boost themselves up to get on the ladder. They start climbing up the ladder and you look at them grinning like a fool, and then they pull the ladder up right behind them and look at you like you're the fool, and they're right. And they're right. Because fool me once, yeah. Like, to be compassionate for a certain amount of time is just good-hearted. That's what you're supposed to be as a good person. But after people have shows you time and time again that they don't mess with you, they not reciprocating, they're not going to help you in return, they're going to talk about you like a dog, they're going to call the police on you, they're going to try to take your jobs, they're going to try to move you out of your neighborhoods, and they don't bat an eye, and every time you try to ask for help, they trick you, and you still want to delusionally pretend like these people are for everybody. You got the Jamaicans saying they got hip hop, and you want to say, well, we're still going to, it's not all Jamaican. What? You have a Jamaican man on PBS documentaries on Google trying to say that he started, saying that he started hip hop, and we ain't done nothing about it because it's still in print. It's still in print. I don't care what he's saying. Well, he's saying in the interviews, he's saying in interviews to appease us, but he didn't retract it. He could call Wikipedia and say, I didn't start that. Y'all need to retract my name. Did he do that? No. You got Africans taking over Essence Fest and leaving huge bills and destroying institutions that we built for a generation. Come on now. Come on. It's because you all, not everybody, but a lot of ethnic Black Americans are still brainwashed. We've all been brainwashed. It's just about how much work have you done to dismantle yourself. We give away $2 trillion every freaking year to other groups. Let that sink in. I'm going to say it again. We give away almost $2 trillion every year to other groups, and then you have the nerve to call yourselves broke and let people call you broke. Yeah, you broke because you're giving all your money away.
For more than 400 years, foundational Black Americans, those whose ancestors built this nation from slavery through Reconstruction, Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement, and into the modern era, have carried a distinct and irreplaceable story. It is a story forged through forced labor, legal segregation, generational terror, political resistance, and cultural brilliance. And today, as America continues changing, the need for clear delineation, a respectful but firm distinction between foundational Black Americans and Black immigrants, has become more important than ever. Delineation is not about division. It is about accuracy, justice, and preservation. For too long, the unique lineage, struggle, and achievements of foundational Black Americans have been blended into a vague, catch-all Black category that erases the specific people who built the foundation upon which America stands. FBA delineation is a corrective, an act of self-definition. It ensures that our history, our lineage, and our political claims remain intact, unmuddied, and respected. Historically, no group has paid a higher price for American democracy than Black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved here. The wealth of this nation, its cotton industry, its early banking system, its railroads, its agricultural expansion, was built directly on the backs of FBA labor. And even after emancipation, it was foundational Black Americans who endured lynching, redlining, disenfranchisement, and segregation, yet continued to push the country toward its own stated ideals. During the 1950s and 60s, the Civil Rights Movement, led overwhelmingly by foundational Black Americans, changed the legal architecture of America. From the bus boycotts to sit-ins, from Freedom Summer to Selma, FBA activists fought, bled, and died to dismantle racist immigration quotas, racist labor laws, and racist voting restrictions. One of the most overlooked facts of American history is this: the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, the very law that opened America's doors to millions of Black immigrants, was made possible by the sacrifices of foundational Black Americans. Had it not been for the victories of the Civil Rights Movement, the U.S. immigration system would have remained locked under the old racial quota structure that favored Europeans almost exclusively. It was the courage of FBA leaders, people like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, and countless unnamed foot soldiers that forced America to remove racial barriers in immigration policy. In a real sense, immigrant opportunity is a direct inheritance of FBA struggle. Yet as the decades passed, especially from the 1970s forward, many Black immigrant communities began entering America without the historical context of the FBA fight. And instead of solidarity, many arrived misinformed, influenced by anti-Black stereotypes, or pressured to assimilate into anti-Black racial hierarchies. Some gravitated toward distancing themselves from Black Americans, adopting the biases of the dominant society to gain proximity to whiteness. In many cases, politics, workplaces, corporate spaces, academia, and business sectors, certain immigrant groups aligned themselves with conservative anti-FBA institutions. Others participated in reinforcing disproven myths about foundational Black Americans being lazy, criminal, or undeserving, even while benefiting from the system's FBA ancestors forced open. This resulted in tension, resentment, and cultural disrespect. Our culture, jazz, hip-hop, gospel, soul food, our fashion, our language, our struggle, was copied, commodified, or dismissed, yet rarely credited. FBA history was overshadowed by Pan-African narratives that ignored the very specific American lineage of enslaved Black people and their descendants. And now, something new is happening. Many immigrants who once believed they were insulated from anti-Black hostility are receiving wake-up calls. Under Trump-era policies and rhetoric, they face travel bans, deportation pressures, job discrimination, and the realization that aligning with white supremacy never saves you from white supremacy. This has exposed a hard truth. Disrespecting foundational Black Americans was not only morally wrong, it was politically short-sighted. FBA delineation helps restore balance. It places responsibility and credit in the proper historical order. It allows foundational Black Americans to protect our political lineage, our reparations claim, our cultural identity, and our collective legacy without being drowned out by groups who have different histories, struggles, and agendas. Delineation is essential because FBA issues are not interchangeable with immigrant issues. Mass incarceration, lineage-based discrimination, wealth theft, and redlining did not impact Black immigrants the same way they devastated FBA communities. Reparations must be lineage-specific. No other group was enslaved in the United States for 250 years. Political representation must reflect actual lineage interests. We cannot have FBA culture, suffering, and movements used as stepping stones for others to take positions meant to represent us. Cultural preservation matters. The experience of being a descendant of American slavery is unique, irreplaceable, and not to be homogenized. Today, delineation is not about hostility. It is about clarity. It is about the right of a people to define themselves, honor their ancestors, safeguard their legacy, and speak with their own political voice. At this moment in American history, as economic pressures rise, political lines sharpen, and immigrant communities feel the realities of U.S. power structures, foundational Black Americans stand at a crossroads. We are reasserting our identity, reclaiming our story, and demanding the respect that was long denied. This is not just a cultural shift, it is a historical correction, a necessary one, and an overdue one. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.